Hello, my name's Will Green. I'm Dr. Patricia Green's husband. You and I first met in 2015 on our video, Our Government Knows. Years ago, I wrote a dissertation while president of a medical corporation called Oxygen Deprivation Syndrome. At the end of this lesson, Oxygen, you may order the transcript for free for your review, and please freely share this knowledge with the ones you loved. Lesson number 1 is oxygen. It will improve your vision, memory, and the way God designed us to breathe. When we visit churches, we notice that way too many people are sick, confessing their disease. There are 3 simple wellness principles that we can follow to overcome most sickness and disease. Sickness and disease are works of the enemy. In 1 John 3:8 we read, For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. What are the works of the devil? Well, sickness and disease are 2 of them. I heard a quote of Mark Twain that I really liked. It's easier to fool people than to convince them that they have been fooled. So here we go. Let's get started. We call this the Health and Wellness Principles with Grandpa Green. There are 3 foundational principles: oxygen, water, and nutrition. What we know can hurt us. What we don't know can hurt us. I read in Hosea 4:6, My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Well, why don't we have knowledge? Because somebody hasn't taught us. So I want to give you a couple of truisms. God gave you a fingerprint that no one else has. So you can leave an imprint that no one else can. And the second truism is, when your intentions are pure, you don't lose anyone. People lose you. Have you seen people with oxygen tanks and with breathing hoses hooked onto their noses? What you are going to learn will free most of them from oxygen. It's the way God designed us to be healthy. When you follow along with what I'm going to show you, it will probably make you lightheaded for a few moments. This is because your brain is oxygen deprived. You are going to own what I'm sharing with you. It will belong to you. If you own it, you can freely share it. I have two drinking glasses, and one of the glasses is a half full or half empty, and the other one doesn't have anything in it. Now, if I want to get a glass of water, I can get a full glass of water in this one because it's empty. But if I try to get a full glass of water here, I can only put half a glass of water in it. Now, so is it half full or half empty? Well, it's the same way with our lungs. When we empty our glass, it's empty. When we empty our lungs, they're empty. We each have 2 lungs. Think of our lungs like balloons. So these are balloons, and that's kind of like our lungs, like they're bellows. So if I inflate the balloon, I'm filling it like I'm filling my lungs. So I'm going to blow this one up. Now, because it was deflated, I can fill it up all the way. So if I let the air out of it as I'm exhaling, now I can fill it up again. So these are like our lungs. Our lungs are inside of our rib cage, and they go from our shoulders down to our diaphragm. Now, what happens if I exhale the balloons? Now they're both empty. Now let's blow them up again, and let me show you again. I'm going to do a complete exhale. Now my balloons are full, my lungs are full, and I'm going to let the air out of my lungs. So we're going to do this as an exercise. So I'm going to exhale, and then exhale some more, and exhale some more. And now I've deflated my lungs, and now I can fill them up. Now, I've forgotten. I taught this 40 years ago. I taught my clients this 40 years ago, and like everything else, we get to do things automatically, and we forget that we learned how to do them one time, and we don't tell anybody else how we're doing that. So when we're young, we do this, and we exhale. But when we get older, we get to be my age, almost 80. Look what happens. I exhale, then I inhale. And I exhale, then I inhale. Well, now I'm going to teach you the secret. But first I want to do this with you 3 times. So I want you to inhale through your nose, and then I want you to exhale through your mouth. So we're going to take a nice deep inhale, nice and slow and easy. And now exhale. More, till they're empty. Now, I want you to do that a couple more times. I want to fill our lungs back up. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Now you're probably getting a little bit lightheaded because that's because your brain is oxygen deprived. Breathing is an exercise. So when we think about breathing as an exercise, then we have to consciously do that. We consciously inhale and we consciously exhale. So what is the secret of deep breathing? It's deep exhalation. Now, whenever you're going to do something heavy, you exhale. You lift it up, and you set it down, because exhale and exertion go hand in hand. So we exhale when we exert. How many times have we grabbed something heavy and held our breath and lifted it up? Well, what happens when we do that? Well, we don't get the energy that we need, because when we exhale, our chest cavities closes down, and our heart shoots blood into all of our muscles. This is really important, but this is the secret. The secret is learning how to exhale, but you have to work at it. Now I'm going to tell you another secret. This is really interesting, and I learned this some time ago from a guy that teaches breathing. He's got a whole website. In fact, I've known him for 30 years, and he teaches people how to deep breathe. You assimilate more oxygen when you're exhaling through your nose than you do when you're inhaling. So if you want to get the most oxygen you can get into your tissues, it's this. Inhale and exhale through your nose. But to practice, to start with, we've got to get our lungs emptied. And until we learn how to empty our lungs, we're not going to get all the oxygen we can get. That's really important, because what does oxygen do? Oxygen is the power that fires things up. I used to do acetylene welding. When I turned the oxygen up, the flame got hotter. When we raise the oxygen in our body, our energy gets more intense. Well, I want you to get this, because this is yours. It belongs to you. It's not mine any longer. Now you know what I know. Now you have this knowledge. Now it belongs to you. So if it belongs to you, what can you do with it? You can give it away. How many people can you help that have breathing challenges? How many? How many people do you see wearing that little hose on their nose? Well, I promise you, nobody has ever taught them how to breathe. Well, this is the first lesson, and this is the first lesson, which is oxygen. The next lesson, we're going to talk about hydration, because hydration is really important. Now, do you know which organ in the body uses the most oxygen? Well, I didn't know till I studied it. It's the eyes. Your eyes use the most oxygen, next to your brain. So when you learn to assimilate or transfer more oxygen, or get more oxygen out of the air, guess what it affects? It affects your eyes. and it affects your thinking. Well, we're going to get into hydration next, so we're going to get into water. So I really would like comments on this video. I mean, I really want your feedback, because this is a new way of teaching for me on video, and I need your help. So please look below the video. You can email a note if you want the script. I'd be glad to send it to you. And practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. God bless you.